Hello, welcome to the fourth week of the second semester. This is good. This is going to be an exciting project. It'll be a lot of fun. This week we're going to work on an Egyptian art project. Okay, and this will be due on Friday, January 25th. The sketchbook drawing for this week, which will be due on the following Monday, will be to draw an object, and the trick is to light that object with one light source. You can use a small lamp or a flashlight, but the idea is to just capture that object only using one light source. Okay, we're going to work on an Egyptian artwork. It's going to be a lot of fun. So the Egyptians were definitely known for kind of these images of profiles of people, as well as hieroglyphics. And the hieroglyphics are the symbols in the background of this picture, of this painting. Okay. So not only did the Egyptians create wonderful, colorful art, but they also created pretty massive monuments, and they are a big shining light in the art world, in history. All right, we have a couple slides here sharing some examples of Egyptian takes on artwork and in culture and society today. So their artwork is definitely popular and mimicked in history and also in other forms of entertainment. All right, for this project, we are going to recreate a papyrus paper art project. The ancient Egyptians used a substance called papyrus, and this is it's kind of a root or a stalk in the ground, and it grows in the mud along the Nile, or it grew in the mud along the Nile River. In fact, the word paper comes from that papyrus tree or plant. Okay, here's the steps for this project. The first thing I'd like us to do is to take a white piece of paper and soak that paper with tea bags, just like we did on the first assignment at the beginning of the semester. Okay, we're going to let that paper dry overnight. And the following day, after the paper's dry, we're going to cut the paper horizontally. So we want to have the paper in a landscape format or position, and cut half-inch thin strips of that paper. Okay, next we're going to mix in a bowl equal amounts of glue and water. You can go to about a quarter cup of each. Okay, fourth, you're going to dip that those paper strips into the glue mixture and remove, after it's soaked in there, you'll take it out and remove any excess glue. And then using some wax paper, lay the thin strips of paper side by side on the wax paper and overlap them slightly. Six, you're going to apply another layer of strips at right angles to the first layer. And then you're going to let this paper dry overnight. And then finally, the next day, probably around Wednesday, go ahead and add a drawing of Egyptian elements and Egyptian art, and then color it. You can color it with crayons or colored pencils, or paint if you have it. Okay, here's an image of the process and how it looks. Again, you're going to take that half and half mixture, equal half of glue, equal half of water, and dip the thin strips that you've separated into that mixture. Okay, get the excess glue off, and then lay those strips down. First in a vertical manner and then horizontally. Okay, the following slides are reference and inspiration that I've obtained from the internet. These are copyrighted images, so we don't want to copy these directly, but they are inspiration and a springboard for us to go off of. Here's another image showing inspiration as well as examples of the papyrus paper art technique. There's more inspiration. You'll notice on the bottom right-hand corner, this is just a kind of an odd slide, but what it is just showcasing what you can create with crayons and some of the shading and detail. So go ahead and see if you can incorporate that into this art project. Okay, here's some more, or here are some art elements and patterns that you can go ahead and utilize for your work. More elements and art patterns, and more elements and art patterns still. What would look fun with this is if you added a nice frame, rectangular frame around your image or your main subject matter, and maybe add these hieroglyphics around that frame. Maybe just drawing it in pencil, and then add some pen and ink, maybe using a Sharpie as well as colored pencils to zero in on one of these figures. I would suggest also coming up with at least 5 thumbnails, 3 to 5 thumbnails. You can do 3, but doing some thumbnails before you start drawing and doing the finished product here. All right, thank you very much. I hope you have fun. Please let me know if you have any questions, and I'll be very happy to help you out. Take care.